For many, flying can feel overwhelming, but imagine if it didn't need to be that way. I'm Richard from Fellow Progress, and in my work, I've met a lot of people who shudder at the idea of flying. And today we're going to talk about how to make your flight as smooth and stress-free as laying on the beach when you get to your holiday destination. Airplanes are highly emotional spaces. People regularly cry at movies they usually wouldn't. Harry Met Sally, Toy Story. Next time you're on a flight, look around. You might see lots of tears. And the reason is, 40% of people experience some level of fear when it comes to flying. Today, I'm going to share a few tools I've found really effective for helping people, myself included, because I'm part of the 40%, handle this fear and fly with a calm and anxiety-free mind. I've created some great free resources you can download. They're linked below. These aren't just generic tips and tools. They've been specifically designed to help with flying anxiety, and I really think they will make a difference to your experience. So first and foremost, why does flying trigger anxiety? It's not just the flight itself, right? You're kind of handing over control, you're trusting the pilot, you're trusting the plane to keep you safe. And these are unfamiliar spaces, and that can feel uncomfortable. Planes are noisy, they shake, and if you're already dealing with claustrophobia or a fear of losing control, well, it's easy to see why this can feel overwhelming, why it can get in our heads. Our minds love to fill in the gaps when we're nervous, and all those little noises and bumps from turbulence. Even when we look at the wings, well, our brain starts to build a story, making us think, making us believe that something bad is about to happen. And that's how a 2-hour flight can turn into a marathon of anxiety. Now, the whole process can feel like a build-up of tension, from locking up the house, worrying about getting to the airport on time, going through security. It's a lot of little moments where you're giving up control, where you're feeling more vulnerable, and that stress adds up. All right, so there's 3 key tools to managing anxiety when you're on the flight. The first one is breathing, right? So let's talk about breathing. When anxiety hits, your body goes into overdrive, your heart races, your breath gets shallow, and suddenly everything feels up close. Deep breathing is a simple, effective way to reset. And here's an easy technique. Breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, and exhale for 3 seconds. And do that about 10 times. And you'll notice your heart rate slowing down, bringing your body back to a calmer state. I have a much more sophisticated breathing technique in the download, so please use that. Look, if you feel awkward doing this in public, don't worry about it. Just focus on slowing your breathing down. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. Just breathe in and breathe out. The goal is to help you regain control of your body. Right, second, mindset. So what you say to yourself in stressful moments really matters. If your inner dialogue is something like, I can't do this, I need to get off this plane, well, that's going to ramp up your anxiety. So before the flight, come up with a few phrases to repeat when you're feeling tense. Things like, I've got this, this is just temporary and it will pass soon. We've done this before. We love traveling. Here's a trick that works for me as well. I try to focus on something positive. So I focus on the one thing I'm looking forward to the most when I get to my destination. For you, it could be the beach, it could be seeing friends, it could be having a great meal, it could just be walking in and seeing your dog. But hold on to that thought. It will be an anchor during the flight. It'll be something that you can come back to when you need to ground yourself, when you need to remind yourself of why you're doing this. So 2 key points of heightened anxiety in flying are takeoff and landing. They are for me. So that's why I've created a specific resource for these moments. It's a combination of breathing exercises, positive affirmations that you can listen to during takeoff and landing. Think of your anxiety like a wave. It will rise, but it will also fall. So when the fear kicks in, remind yourself that it will pass soon and you just need to ride it out. And also use your anchor thought as well. Okay, breathing, mindset. Now let's focus on the facts and logic. So the world has risks, but fear and danger aren't the same thing. And fear is our interpretation of danger. The chance of being in a plane crash is about 1 in 9 million. flying is actually one of the safest forms of travel in the world. When you compare that to driving, where the odds of being in an accident are 1 in 103, or even being struck by lightning, which is 1 in 15,300. Well, if we worried about those risks as much as flying, we'd never leave the house on a rainy day. We'd never get in a car. So keep these stats in mind. They can really help put things into perspective, right? 1 in 9 million is a huge number. Anxiety can strike. So if your anxiety does get really high, say to an 8 or a 9, you will need to have a contingency. So one option is flying with someone who's calm and supportive. Just having someone there to be with you can make a big difference. Or speak to an air stewardess. They're experienced flyers. They will be able to calm you down. And they are very, very warm and friendly. And who knows, they might even suggest having a small drink of alcohol. And yes, you know, a drink or two can help relax you. But it's important to remember that moderation is key. Too much alcohol, especially on a long flight, can leave you feeling worse later. It can make your anxiety worse. So just be mindful of that. And alcohol makes us more emotional. So really, moderation is key. I know travel and anxiety often go hand in hand, but with the right tools, you can make it much more manageable. And there's comfort in knowing you're not alone. So if you find yourself crying, just look around. Other people will be crying too. So if you want more support, the downloads in the description are a great place to start. And if you'd like something more personalized, well, I'm here for that too. So just reach out via my website or leave a comment and I can get in contact. And don't forget to like and share and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. So if you found this helpful, please leave questions or thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Bye.